I will prevent, and very easily, World War III, very easily. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the disastrous war between Russia and Ukraine settled. It will be settled quickly. Quickly. I will get the problem solved, and I will get it solved in rapid order, and it will take me no longer than one day. I know exactly what to say to each of them. I got along very well with them. They want to ban straws. Has anybody ever tried those paper straws? They're not working too good, right? They want to ban straws. I said, well, you know, I've had a couple of meals at McDonald's, etc., over the years, right? Wendy's, friend of mine owns Wendy's. I'll give it a plug, right? Burger King. So they want to ban straws. I said, oh, really? What about the carton? What about the plate? What about the knives and the spoons that are plastic? Oh, they're okay. But the straws we got to ban. Has anybody ever tried, seriously, the new straw, it's made out of paper, right? It disintegrates as you drink it. If you have a nice tie like this tie, this would have no chance. By the time you get finished, the straw is totally disintegrated. Does anybody walk around with a plastic straw? Because it's not bad. You know, you whip it out, boom, boom. You never had to do that.
After you become the 47th president, what are you going to do to stop the war in Ukraine?
Yeah.
So I would literally start calling, not from the day I took over, but from the night I won. And I'd call two people.
Two people.
You know who the two people are? Putin, right? You know who Putin is? And Zelensky.
Zelensky.
And I'd say, we're going to meet. We're going to
That's how he would say it. He would get on the phone and he'd go, we're going to meet.
And I guarantee I could work that out.
Oh, man.
I guarantee. I know exactly what I'd say, by the way. I know exactly. I tell one guy this, and I tell one guy that, and I say, you better make a deal.
Trump's foreign policy ideas, extremely convincing to 9-year-olds.
And if you put me back in the White House, their reign is over. Their reign will be over. And they know it. And America will be a free nation once again. We're not a free nation right now. We don't have free press. We don't have free anything. In 2016, I declared, I am your voice. Today I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution. Not going to let this happen. Not going to let it happen. I will totally obliterate the deep state. I will fire. Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President,
that's
I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President,
That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead. What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
This is a tough business to run for president.
I know. You're a tough guy, Jeff.
And we need to have a leader that is
Real
principled.
tough.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to the
Let's see,
presidency.
I'm at 42 and you're at 3, so
Doesn't
far
matter.
I'm doing better.
Doesn't matter.
So far I'm doing better. You know, you started off over here, Jeff. You're moving over further and further. Pretty soon you're going to be off the end.
This
like
doesn't
Sharon.
do a
Hillary accidentally bumped into me, and she very civilly said, "Pardon me."
Let's say I'm running against Pocahontas or Crazy Bernie. I tell you, I gotta hand it to Bernie. I saw him up there the other day. That hair is getting whiter and whiter, and he's getting crazier and crazier. And I saw him. We'll stop Donald Trump. We're stopping him. We're gonna stop him. And I looked at my wife. I said, you know what? You gotta hand it to that guy, man. That guy, he doesn't quit, and that's okay. Crazy Bernie. He is one crazy dude.
One of the things people love about you is you speak your mind and you don't use a politician's filter. However, that is not without its downsides, in particular when it comes to women. You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't. Your Twitter account...
Thank you. A friend of mine is a great manufacturer. Calls me up a few weeks ago. He's very upset. I said, what's your problem? He said, you know, I make great product. And I said, I know that because I buy the product. He said, I can't get it into China. They won't accept it. I sent a boat over and they actually sent it back. They talked about environmental. They talked about all sorts of crap that had nothing to do with it. I said, oh, wait a minute, that's terrible. Does anyone know this? He said, yeah, they do it all the time with other people. I said, they send it back? Yeah. So I finally got it over there, and they charged me a big tariff. They're not supposed to be doing that. I told them. Now, they do charge a tariff on trucks. When we send trucks and other things over there, ask Boeing. They wanted Boeing secrets. They wanted their patents and all their secrets before they agreed to buy planes from Boeing. Hey, I'm not saying they're stupid. I like China. I sell apartment for I just sold an apartment for $15 million to somebody from China. Am I supposed to dislike them? I own a big chunk of the Bank of America building in 1290 Avenue of the Americas that I got from China in a war. Very valuable. I love China. The biggest bank in the world is from China. You know where their United States headquarters is located? In this building, in Trump Tower. I love China. People say, oh, you don't like China. No, I love them. But their leaders are much smarter than our leaders. And we can't sustain ourselves with that. There's too much. It's like take the New England Patriots and Tom Brady and have them play your high school football team. That's the difference between China's leaders and our leaders. They are ripping us. We are rebuilding China. We're rebuilding many countries. China, you go there now, roads, bridges, schools, you never saw anything like it. They have bridges that make the George Washington Bridge look like small potatoes. And they're all over the place. We have all the cards, but we don't know how to use them. We don't even know that we have the cards because our leaders don't understand the game. We could turn off that spigot by charging them tax until they behave properly. Now they're going militarily. They're building a military island in the middle of the South China Sea, a military island. Now, our country could never do that because we'd have to get environmental clearance. And the environmentalists wouldn't let our country. We would never build an ocean. They built it in about 1 year, this massive military port. They're building up their military to a point that is very scary. You have a problem with ISIS, you have a bigger problem with China.
you are known for your terrible haircut, and now I can see why. Your hair sucks. You look like Justin Bieber caught on fire.
What's the difference between a wet raccoon and Donald J. Trump's hair? A wet raccoon doesn't have $7 billion fucking dollars in the bank.
That's the one.
Who are you working for, China? You work for China, or are you with a newspaper? Who are you with?
Hong Kong Phoenix TV.
Who owns that, China?
It's
Is it owned by
based in
China?
Hong Kong.
No, is it owned by the state?
No, it's not. It's a private owned company.
Okay, good.
Homies wanna be like on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light.
Just 2 years ago, with the help of many people in this room, we had a booming economic recovery like nobody's seen before, the strongest and most secure border in U.S. history, energy independence and even energy dominance, historically low gas prices, as you know, no inflation, a fully rebuilt military, and a country that was highly respected all over the world by other leaders, by other countries, highly respected. Very simply, we had made America great again. We made it great again, and we did it by putting workers first, by putting families first, and above all, by putting America first. But now our country has been brought to its knees, literally brought to its knees, and who would have thought this could happen? Inflation is the highest in 49 years, 9.1%, and a lot of people think it's much higher than that. Gas prices have reached the highest in the history of our country. We have become a beggar nation, groveling to other countries for energy. Millions of illegal aliens are stampeding across our wide open borders, pouring into our country. It's an invasion. Democrat-run cities are setting all-time murder records. Our country is being dealt one historic humiliation after another on the world stage. And at home, our most basic rights and liberties are totally under siege. The American dream is being torn to shreds, and we will not have a country left if this economic, social, and attack on civilization itself is not quickly reversed. And above all else, we know this. In America, we don't worship government, we worship God. Right? No, get those lights off. Off. Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn them off. Oh, Don, you're a little controversial. You're talking about illegal immigration. I said it's illegal.
That there are, for immigrants on the whole,
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it out. Go ahead. The premiums are going through the roof. The deductibles, frankly, you have to get hit with a Komatsu tractor in order to use them. They're so high. We just spent $1 million building a soccer field, okay? A soccer field for our prisoners that happen to be in Guantanamo, okay? I don't like that. What do you need $1 million for? Level out the surface. Let them play. The Iranians are great negotiators. The Persians are great negotiators. And we have people that are babies. It's like a chess player, grandmaster, playing against a checkers child. No, that's what it is. We give them, think of it, a nuclear scientist, and they won't give us our hostages back. It's so insane. President Obama, Secretary Kerry, I highly think you should read this book quickly. Quickly! We have very stupid people in our country negotiating for us, and we have leaders that don't know what they're doing. You know, Jeb Bush, one of my opponents, I noticed he's not doing very well in the polls. I've actually known. And by the way, they said I won the debate. Is that nice? Is that nice? Right? The polls came out and said I won. And the media, look at all those people back there. Scavengers. They're like scavengers. They'll probably say the crowds were about equal. Oh, they were equal. But that's the way they are, very dishonest. CNN is terrible. CNN. You're with CNN? Are you with CNN? Are you? You people do not cover us accurately at all. So they have a few protesters outside, and they have thousands of people, and the first question from CNN is about protesters. So what I'm going to do is span out. Span out. Show them the crowd, press. Show them the crowd. Show them the crowd. Look, they're not turning the cameras. They don't even turn the cameras. They don't even turn the cameras because you know what? They're very dishonest people. Because you know what they do? They have the camera, live television, on my face the entire amount. My wife goes, I go home. Were there any people there tonight, darling? They don't see. They never show the crowds. Frankly, I don't even think they give a damn about education, half of them. And I'm sure some maybe do. Want to use that word in this form? I will. Because people want to hear the truth, Frank. I watch you all the time. They want to hear the truth. Correct. Frank, we have to be able to express ourselves.
But referring to people as rapists, referring to John McCain, a war hero, 5.5 years as a POW, and you call him a dummy. Is that appropriate in running for president? Okay, you got to let me speak, though, Frank, because you interrupt all the time, okay? So, no, I know him too well. That's the problem.
In the center of the stage tonight, businessman Donald Trump.
I would never give up my microphone. I thought that was disgusting. That showed such weakness. The way he was taken away by two young women. The microphone, they just took the whole place over. That will never happen with me. I don't know if I'll do the fighting myself or if other people will. But that was a disgrace. The way they took, I felt badly for him. But it showed that he's weak. You want to be what, vice president? Oh, now his question's no longer as good. He had great credibility until he said that. Now it's like, where did he come from? We need a leader that wrote The Art of the Deal. I said trade deals. Who would do better? I know, I'll tell you what. I know the greatest negotiators in the world. Some are horrible people, horrible human beings. Who cares? Some Wall Street guys, they're brutal, they're miserable. You wouldn't want to go out to dinner. They're terrible people. I love them. You know who's our primary representative right now? Carolyn Kennedy. You know how she got the job? 60 Minutes. She went to the White House. She said, I'd love to have a job. I have nothing to do. They said, how would you like to be the ambassador to Japan? She goes, really?
Donald Trump has announced that he's going to be arrested. What is being alleged is that Trump paid Stormy Daniels money to keep quiet in the build-up to the 2016 election. Didn't the Clinton campaign pay for the Steele dossier that made now proven false allegations that Russia and Trump were colluding in electoral fraud in 2016? Last year, the Federal Election Commission fined the Clinton campaign for funding the Steele dossier as a legal expense. The campaign had previously denied funding the dossier, which was used to push false Russia collusion claims against Trump in 2016, and it buried the funding in the campaign's legal budget. The fundamental charge: don't use campaign funds for stuff that's not included within the parameters of what campaign funding should be spent on. That's the same. But what's clear is that money and time is being spent on indicting Donald Trump that isn't being spent on indicting the Democratic Party. That is a difference. What does that difference tell you? Stay free. See it first on Rumble.
If you don't watch Fox News, here are 5 highlights from last night's complete meltdown over the Trump indictment. There were times last night when I genuinely thought people were going to cry. I'm not exaggerating. If you had zero context, you would have thought somebody died.
Give the president some money to fight this bullshit.
Looking a little emotional. I feel the same way.
My heart is broken. I had some tears in my eyes.
Some hosts tried to spin the indictment into a good thing. Watch Pete Hegseth really overestimate Donald Trump's cool factor.
If there's a mugshot of Donald Trump, it'll be in dorm rooms and on t-shirts.
And it gets dumber. Here's Greg Gutfeld saying that now Donald Trump has street cred.
He is an OG, right? If they give me, I mean, he is a badass if he's got a mugshot.
I honestly can't wait for this mugshot to come out because Fox hosts are gonna have to pretend that he's the handsomest man they've ever seen. It's gonna be really fun. Tucker brought Glenn Beck on to talk about the indictment, and Beck immediately went off the rails.
The Bill of Rights is gone. By 2025, we are going to be at war. We'll have a currency collapse, and we will live in a virtual police state.
Honestly, I just don't think America is efficient enough to get that much done in 2 years. Denmark, maybe, but not America. To no one's surprise, the Law & Order crowd suddenly didn't like Law & Order. And according to them, grand juries are now Stalin.
Stalinization of the American criminal justice system.
The type that we normally associate with the Soviet Union.
It's like Stalin's purges.
But while we all love to make fun of these people, there was a ton of dangerous rhetoric last night.
It almost feels like they're pushing the population to react.
Basically, it's one party hunting another.
It is a war on conservatism and MAGA.
They want you to strike out.
Donald Trump was indicted by a jury. If anything, this shows that our justice system is still willing to go after the rich and powerful. Republicans could have even used this indictment to get rid of the Trump albatross hanging around their neck. But instead, they've committed themselves to a guy with 34 counts against him.
People better be careful, and that's all I'll say about that.
I'll see you on Friday for next week's recap, but in the meantime, I do hope you'll have some fun watching these hypocrites melt down.
Part that we really need to take personal responsibility for. Saturday, I had a little low-grade fever.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Breaking news! A grand jury has indicted Donald Trump in the Stormy Daniels hush money case. Trump will reportedly be turning himself in and begin fighting this case. He is the first president or former president to receive criminal charges. What do you think is going to happen?
The little homies wanna be like on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light.
Remember this, nothing worth doing ever came easy. I've seen so many brilliant people. They were totally brilliant. They were top of their class. They were the best students. They were the best of everything. They gave up. I've seen others who really didn't have that talent or that ability, and they're among the most successful people today in the world because they never quit and they never gave up. So just remember that. Never stop fighting. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. 'Cause
You know, I confronted Kim Jong-un, and all of a sudden I got a call. He said, I have a red button on my desk, meaning a nuclear button. I said, I have a red button on my desk too, but it's bigger and stronger than yours, and mine works.